You've seen how Fibonacci's work. Now it's time to own it. This is the final episode in the series. It's time to apply what you've learned, because you just don't want to be full of knowledge, because knowledge by itself never turns to wisdom unless you apply it. I'm going to walk you through a lot of examples of how to handle deeper Fibonacci's and larger Fibonacci's and setups, how to recognize the momentum shifts from TSI, RSI, and some other ways in candlesticks, which is really going to shock you, and how to challenge yourself over the next week to take some action to identify the fibs on things, on entities you've traded, because that will help you become a Fibonacci master. Isn't that right, Bunny? Isn't it? That's right, guys. I talked about the 3-trade challenge. What's the challenge? Get a chart, walk through it, what you've seen me doing over the past 3 videos, and do it for yourself. So keep in mind that what we want to do is utilize a magic fib box is your zone of control. It gives you control over time. It gives you control over your entry price. It also allows you to wait for confirmation, so you're not predicting, because as you practice this, you will see time and time again where prices fall back into a zone that's defined approximately by the golden magic fib box. And then when you throw in the combination of clues, you improve your success rate dramatically. So now, Shri, what was your question? The original question.
How far back how many candles back is there a minimum that you need?
No, it's like where I can see the, on NNE.
High and low.
Yeah, where I can define a pretty good high and low. I like them to be where they're all in one continuous. I like them to be where it's fairly in a straight line. But here's one that's very well defined, and you could basically throw your numbers on that.
So it doesn't have to be a minimum number of candles to go back.
No.
Okay.
And then here's one here from here up to here. And I will sometimes bounce around between the daily and the weekly. The weekly, of course, are going to give you your strongest moves. And so like on this one here, if I just drew in this line here, I would grab here. And you can see that when that fell back, as soon as that broke back up, that would be your entry point on that, or could be an entry point on. But that was not a really great fib to grab, simply because I wasn't getting the lines, because it was so fast. And a lot of times I will lay in the fib. There would be a good high. But then there was also this one here, from here to there, which I think is a higher grade, high to low, to be able to forecast out. And it also trumps this one simply because it's newer, if that makes sense. So cool. And then I encourage you to basically do a 3-trade challenge or a 3-day challenge. Go in and find an entity, and then plot a magic fib box on 3 recent moves or 3 recent highs to lows, and then look for the confirmation candle. Count the clues that you see, and then do a journal entry, and then practice doing this, builds mastery, and post one that you found over on the Discord channel, over on the mentoring piece of the Discord channel. Just one. And to show you how to do this, somebody pick a stock or an ETF. And I'll give you an example, but you'll have to use something else. Give me a stock or an ETF, guys.
Google. Try Google.
Google.
Since that took off today.
Okay, let's look at Google. Oh, that's a pretty, okay. I look at Google. What do I see? I see several things. I can go back in time and I can measure from here to here. Let's do that first. But that's going back to 2022. But for practice, I'm going to go that high to that low. and see where things measure out at. Look what we get here. Okay, we get all the way back up to the 100. This is a really great example on the initial one. So I get a complete retracement, and we get back up to 100% extension, and look what happens. There's a pretty good example of it stalling out right there. Get a reversal signal. However, by this time, we are back into a strong uptrend. Get a reversal signal there, and it pops back up. And on this move, where do we go? The 1272, slow down, but it hits it. And then we came darn close to hitting and this is where I'm talking about, if you're targeting this as a profit target, fudge your numbers just a little bit below it. The 1618 hits that. So that's one that you found. You go, okay, and you see that's pretty slick. And notice how, since the Fibonacci's are built off of existing price action, you'll find that oftentimes they just highlight the levels of support / resistance from the past highs and lows. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to X out of that one and look at another one just real quick. So here I have here's another move right here. Again, just grab this. And this is all I want you to do. Just pick high, low, and check that out. Gets up to 1278, 127.2, slows down, stops. Gets up to the 618, 1618, breaches it, but then comes back up, hit the 200, and then the 2618 is one that we don't talk about a lot, but that is a really strong level where prices can get up to that level. The last one I would look at on this one, it would just be able to bounce over here. Let's take a look at some of these moves on the daily. You can't make this stuff up. You could, but that wouldn't be any fun. Look where you get this move up, you get the reversal, and how many of us have sat and get this down, this shooting star reversal pattern, and in reality wanted to go short, rather than having it programmed in our mind saying, no, we've just had a major trend shift and back above the moving averages. I should be looking for a pullback into a definable area for it to take back off. And then we get one trigger, doesn't get quite up to the 1272, but then we get another major pullback into the box. Then it takes off from there. And when it took off from there, look where we hit 1272, slowed down, bounce on up into 1618. And now from here, I would get rid of that and I would go over here to this shorter term one and draw that one in and check that out. It breached the 1618 today and continues to move higher. So if you do that, I encourage you, do at least 3. If you want to have some fun, see if you can do 3 per day for about a week to 2 weeks. It will change the way you trade. And TNA, Chris, let's see what TNA is telling us. TNA telling us a lot the same thing. Just go, and I want to go back. One of the things why I go back to the weekly chart, I want to see how it behaves, how the Fibonacci's behave going back in time. Because oftentimes that is indicative of how they'll behave going forward. So as you can see, I broke past my 100% extension, but pow, it hits. So this is one of the things I can be looking for. I hit and failed to 1272. Then it drops back inside the 100% extension and falls from there. Okay, that is not positive whatsoever. I can grab here, and I'm doing this really quickly. I know I can take this whole move from here down to here. And if you look at that, I'm just back into the magic Fib box. And it's hanging up where? Right at the 50% retracement. And so is it going to break through or is it not? If it does break up, where's its target? About $42. I can now also, I'm looking, here's one you can actually measure here. Measure that down to there and check that out. These mini moves, I'll call them. It broke out, went all the way to 200%, and then is reversing back down. I can also now grab one last one. Yeah, I can take that from there down to there. Note that it came back to the 50. So what I take away from doing this exercise is that the people who are behind trading TNA, they're paying attention, they're respecting the Fibonacci's, they're respecting the levels of support and resistance. And as I said earlier, whether it is a case of just a self-fulfilling prophecy or it's the magic of nature, as Leonardo Fibonacci discovered so many years ago in Pisa, I don't know. All I know is that it works. Any questions?
I knew some of the theory behind, but it's so uncanny that it always falls in that 68.
Oh, yeah. So for everybody, is it self-fulfilling prophecy or is it nature? You have to vote one way or the other.
What are the options, Dennis?
Is the action of the Fibonacci's in the levels and how it attracts things, it acts like a magnet. Is it a self-fulfilling prophecy or is it really nature? Or maybe both.
Yeah. Nature first, and it was an observation by not just in the stock market, right? It's something that happens in many things, normal day-to-day things.
It could be, if it happens in nature, wouldn't it make sense for it to happen in human nature? If you really want to activate mastery, you've got to take action on putting to practice. And the other thing you can do is just post over on the Discord channel and say, hey, I did it on XYZ company, or I did it on the SOXL. I followed it. And guess what? I did it from, maybe just mention 2 of the times you measured it. Just list how you measured it so people can go, oh, yeah, okay, I see it. And I think it will strengthen it for you. I know doing this, putting together this presentation has really just brought it home to me. And I was always a proponent of Fibonacci's. It has brought it home to me even more. How to simplify and continue clarifying how I want to trade. Hey guys, if you enjoyed this video and you would really love to have a rules-based mechanical system that has successfully beat the market for over a decade, then check out a copy of my book, Trade Your Way to Freedom. It's available as an ebook or a print copy over on Amazon. The folks that are using this book have found a way to basically trade successfully. It also gives you a link to find out more about AutoPilot trading service. You know what? I think people don't want to miss future series that we do about swing trading. What do you think? You think that's a good idea? Yep, the bunny thinks that's a good idea.